Nobody Asked Us, episode 30 with Daniel. My first question, how do you say your last name?
It's a good question. Gottesman. It's a German name, and yeah, Gottesman. Double
Daniel
N.
Gottesman. Okay. And the second question, make sure I say it right, is it Elphi?
Elphi. You're on
Okay.
point.
Now here's your Chat GPT intro. Today on the show, we're thrilled to welcome Daniel Gottesman, co-founder and chief operating officer at Elphi, the fintech startup that's reshaping how mortgage lenders operate. Daniel brings a blend of strategic leadership and real-world execution. From serving over a decade in the Israeli Air Force in managerial and command roles to earning his MBA from the University of Chicago Booth School of Business. At Elphi, he helps drive a next-generation loan origination platform that's speeding up one of the mortgage industry's most cumbersome processes, making loan origination faster, more transparent, and smarter for lenders and borrowers alike. Whether it's integrating real-time decisioning or simplifying workflows, Daniel's on a mission to modernize the mortgage lifecycle. Daniel, welcome to the show. How did it do?
Thanks. ChatGPT did really well, and I'm happy to be here. So thanks for having me. And yeah, I can basically mic drop and leave at this point.
So did that give a job?
Yeah, I did a good job.
Okay, so we usually start with just a little bit of kind of, Daniel, can you tell us how you got into mortgage tech? As Andrew always says on every single episode, I think I have to say it. Nobody says, that in high school when I grow up, I want to get in mortgage tech. So give us your
he's not wrong.
Give us your arc and how you got sucked into the mafia.
Exactly. So he's not wrong. And I didn't grow up and going to high school thinking, how will I get into mortgage tech? Funny enough, I listened to a few of your previous episodes. On one of them, one of your people you hosted said that he dreamt of being an F-15 pilot, and then he ended up getting into mortgage. So funny enough, I actually served, as mentioned, in the Israeli Air Force, flying airplanes. And then I got my MBA at the University of Chicago, as mentioned. Looked for an entrepreneurship route together with my co-founder, Elon, we share the same background. And we landed on mortgage tech just because we saw an opportunity. So no specific background in the mortgage tech. I didn't grow up dreaming about it, but here I am speaking with you. So that's a little bit of the background.
Wow. Okay. So that opens up. Usually we kind of wait towards the end here, but so I told you before, we have the previous guest, the guest before you ask you the question, and you have one for a next guest. We'll ask you what your question is for our next guest at the end here, but this is a great segue to Brian View's question last week, who was now the president of Mismo. Yeah, he said, what did you see in this industry? Specifically, what did you see that led you to build an LOS?
Yeah, it's a good question. And if you're listening, Brian, thanks for the question. What did we see? So my co-founder and I, Elon, we did not grow in the mortgage business. We weren't lenders before or anything like that. So we've started by researching, actually, at the time, talking about 2018-ish, new technologies and ways or markets where they can be implemented. So we both got our MBAs. I went to the University of Chicago, as mentioned. My co-founder went to MIT. And we're looking for entrepreneurship opportunities. Long story, but we've actually started by researching student loans as we were students. Researched it for a few months, decided that that's not the right market. And then we looked for the next big market, and we ended up landing on the mortgage market. And as we've kind of talked to people from within the industry, different kind of veterans, mortgage veterans, some of them are advisors or investors of the company today, we understood there's a real pain point and a real gap when it comes to the technological backbone, the loan origination system, at least for originators. And we've researched, we've talked to people, we've had multiple opportunities to be exposed to people who actually use LOSs, originate loans and whatnot. And we've decided to go for it. And so that's the background. We just saw an opportunity, interviewed people, talked to people, shadowed people, saw people use the LOSs, and we just couldn't believe that that's what people use today. Today, I'm talking about a few years ago, but still, I think the case is it's almost the same as it was.
It's wild. So, yeah, I'm sure you found that you didn't find many people that love their LOS.
No, we didn't. We didn't. It's hard. It's hard to me. So I will share. We've had So we've graduated from the business school in 2019. I moved from Chicago to Boston, so we were located in Boston at the time, and we had the opportunity to join the DCU, Digital Credit Union, one of the top, at the time, maybe top 10, top 15 credit union in the country. I had a FinTech Innovation Center, some sort of an accelerator program, 6 months program. They gave us an office space in downtown Boston, that was great, but also they gave us access to their mortgage fulfillment team. So we actually spent hours shadowing the actual processors of the DCU, underwriters, etc. They were using a certain platform at the time, and the frustration that they had is unimaginable. I literally couldn't believe that that's how they work, from printing, papers because the system didn't support it, using markers, using pens, and I was like, man, that can't be true. So they did not like their LOS, and I've never spoken to anyone who actually likes it. For some people, it's just something they manage, they can live with, but no one seems to like it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Fascinating. I was going to say, I think, Daniel, when we chatted at the MBA, I think you mentioned you have like a commercial side of the business and there's like the, I guess, true residential side of the business. Since 2019, I guess, how long did it take you to kind of build out the core platform, and then where are you guys at today, and what are the markets that you guys are serving?
Yeah, great question, PK. Thanks. So it takes time to build an LOS. We've heard so many horror stories of companies that tried and ended up not succeeding, stopping the development, or for whatever reason not continuing. We've spent a few years researching the space. I mentioned we have some of our kind of supporting team, advisors, investors, people like the former CEO of Fannie Mae, Mike Williams, people who worked at Freddie, Fannie, other lenders, and whatnot. And we spent some time researching this space. There's nothing smart about running to build an LOS without knowing what you're about to build. So initially we had a few proof of concept with different residential lenders. A proof of concept of an LOS. It wasn't really functional. It didn't get to production. And then at some point during COVID, one of our advisors, Brian Handel, connected us with, at the time, CEO of one of the top business purpose lenders or private lenders. They do non-owner occupied loans, fix and flip, rental or DSCR, bridge, new construction, called Lima One Capital. So starting, I believe 2021, towards the end of 2021, focusing on that space. So we've kind of shifted our focus a bit, still in the same direction. So it's still the same platform, but we've built the system to support business purpose lenders. Again, it's a very similar mortgage. There's some differences, but it's very similar. There's a collateral and there's a borrower, and you underwrite them. And we've been focusing on that space in the past 2.5 years. We've gained more traction. We've grown our customer base. And these are the customers that we have today. And our goal would be in 2026 to finally tap into the residential space again. And that's kind of what our plan is and where we have been, or what we have been doing in the past couple of years.
Chris, I don't know if I've told you before, but when we started our company in the early days, we used to get a lot of these leads from or inbound leads from these commercial lenders, and we'd get on a call with them, and we're like, hey, what are you looking at like doing? Because it didn't make sense why they were reaching out to us, and then they would just be like, we have this LOS that we're using, we hate it, and then we kind of do like a proper discovery with them, and basically they would be like, can you just build an LOS, custom LOS for us? And we're like, well, no, that's like a whole. That's essentially what I didn't know Elphi existed at the time. I could have just pointed them at that, but like we just told them like, hey, I don't think we're a good fit. Like that's not the direction we wanted to go into. But even to this day, every now and then we still get a lead, and they're like, hey, can you do this for us? And we want this specific portal, and we want to be able to do X, Y, and Z. And so it seems like there is a problem in that space, but
you're right.
It's not as loud. I don't think they're as loud as like the residential folks on mortgage on LinkedIn.
There's very little. You're right. It's a smaller market. I believe it's about 5, 6, 7% origination compared to the resi space.
Sure.
I don't think there's a lot of overlap between the LOS serving the resi space and LOS serving the business purpose lending space. I mean, I know that there isn't. Some BPL lenders, business purpose lenders, might use Encompass, a handful. And Encompass is definitely not built for those type of loans. You have entities, LLCs taking the loan. You might have multiple properties on the loan. Encompass is not built for that. So you might see Encompass a little bit. But otherwise, there are different systems. And that's a market that's underserved technologically. So that's why we wanted to just prove our platform there that it works at scale. We've already originated over $3 billion through our system in the past two and a half years. So we've proved that. And now we kind of feel that's the right time to move forward. Again, it's the same platform. We're just enhancing it with things we're building today. Fannie integration, Freddie integration, more compliance, etc.
Did you say you guys have done $3 billion worth of transactions on the platform?
Correct. I mean, not us, our customers, right? So our customers originated close to $3 billion for our platform. So definitely have proven it in scale. Yeah, so that's good.
Very humble of you to just kind of drop that line in there.
No, we enjoyed, and that was our goal, to bring momentum into the resi space, knowing we've been able to support lenders that do a large amount of loans monthly or annually.
I have a question, but Chris, I think you were going to ask something.
No, I'm going to derail this conversation fast. So
go ahead.
What type of airplane did you fly?
That was a derail. You did derail us.
Yeah.
I used to fly F-16s.
You've flown an F-16.
Lucky.
So, I mean, you know how many people watching this, including myself, are jealous of you? I'm like, that is a dream.
But hey, we're talking mortgage now, right?
Yeah. So you got out of F-16s, and then you went to get your MBA.
Correct.
Wow.
No, there is more to it. So as I mentioned, again, I was born and raised in Israel. In Israel, the military service is mandatory.
Right.
Most people serve to an extent, at some capacity. So I was lucky enough to be able to join the Israeli Air Force Flight Academy at the time. I actually grew up playing sports. So anyways, I always had a vision as a young kid that I'll become a professional athlete in whatever sports they might do. I ended up not doing that. Did my military service. And by the way, most of the time, I was an officer on the ground, not flying. So, if you're a pilot, you don't fly all the time.
Right.
And actually, a lot of the experience I got, my co-founder as well, we share the same background, just from serving, being an officer, leading people. I served in an equivalent of the U.S. Central Command, or sort of CENTCOM, so something equivalent. So I got to see a lot of complex processes, missions being planned using technology only, no Excel spreadsheets, no emails, no phone calls, and it all worked. And things way more complex than originating mortgages. So that too gave me the confidence that mortgages, you have millions originated every year. It's not such a complex process. And the fact that technology doesn't support it, just I couldn't get it. So I brought that military experience to what we're doing today. Obviously, I don't fly F-16s anymore, but there's a lot to take from it to running a business.
Great answer.
So there's my derail. I would think I really derailed at PK.
And by the way, Chris, I will say, even just like anything else in life, I guess, even if you really like doing something, after a while, it's not that exciting anymore. No matter what it is, it can be flying F-16, it could be anything else. So I don't miss it. I miss the perhaps camaraderie I had with my friends and people I served with. The mission towards which we kind of work together, but the flying aspect itself, I don't necessarily miss it, and I'm fine putting it behind me.
No, it's funny having kids watching The Human Condition.
Yes.
It's like, oh, they find so much joy in this. What's funny when people are like, oh, who don't have kids yet, like PK would probably say this to me. It's like, oh, it's so fun seeing how much joy she gets out of bubbles, right?
Right.
And I'm like, but at the same token, how much sadness can come from the lack of bubbles, or like,
Correct.
it goes both ways. Like I'm easily entertained by bubbles, and they can make me sad by not being able to open the bubbles.
Correct. And they bounce back. I also have 2 young daughters. They bounce back really quickly. That's also nice to see. The ups and downs, as you mentioned, the bubbles or the rock is just picked up while you're walking, and then they care about it, but then they see something else and they are excited again. So that's actually nice to see. It's a good comparison.
Yeah.
How old are your kids, if I may ask?
My daughter just turned 15 days ago, and my son is 6 weeks old.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So he's a baby.
Congratulations.
All right, PK, I'll let you bring us back on.
It's all good. No, what I was going to ask is, and maybe this is kind of a derail of its own, but in the commercial space, I don't think I've seen any, like, I might be wrong, but I don't think there's a player necessarily kind of like a Rocket that's more of like a tech enabled commercial lender with like a national brand presence or anything. It's a lot of like local regional folks that maybe have like a foothold or quote unquote relationship based business that was being generated. And also there's fairly high margins in that business depending on how you operate and all that. You guys are building all this tech and you guys are investing all this capital and all this kind of stuff. Did you ever consider maybe like just being a Rocket in that space and like, being the lender itself? And you guys are smart. And so that seems like a great way to also, like, from a cash flow perspective, make a bunch of money up front. I don't know. Did you guys ever consider that?
Yeah, becoming a lender using our own technology.
Exactly.
Interesting question. You do. There are a few examples even in this in the business purpose lending space. The largest lender actually started as a technology company, and they became a lender called Kiavi today. They changed name. They raised some capital along the way. So that's one. Other aside from them, I don't know of any large lenders that actually have their own tech team that supports it. And there are a few cases of lenders becoming technology providers. You also see the other way around because allegedly they know how the business should work.
The business works.
Right. We did look into becoming, we did explore it, becoming a lender or even potentially a broker. So we could just bring leads because you also have a point of sale. We didn't pull the trigger on it. I don't know if that's something that we plan on doing because, again, it's a good thing we have a good, good advisors around us to tell us that it's not as easy as it might seem. Some of our advisors ran large shops originating 10 billions a year. And we believe that the beauty of it, our professionalism, is being a tech company. So the fact that I don't come from the mortgage business and we have fresh perspective and we've seen other things and we bring it into the mortgage business and we see it as an opportunity, as an advantage. So we're trying to focus on, making our customers as best as they can, as efficient as possible. But we might at some point become a lender, but it's not currently something that we plan on doing. I don't see us doing it unless something changes dramatically.
Got it. Yeah.
So Daniel, what did you see as your, because I have my thoughts on what it would be, but what did you see as your biggest, this is going to be our biggest issue starting an LOS?
Yeah, well, a lot of things you don't know until you do it. So you think you might be naive at first, just like, I guess, running a business, whatever business it might be. So what are the things that I saw that are going to be an issue, or what are the things that I didn't envision and are now an issue?
Oh, let's do two questions. First, what did you think? And then what did you think after? What is your answer be now with the knowledge you have?
Yeah. We kept on hearing a few things. We kept on hearing that a sales cycle will be long. It is. We kept hearing that a lot of companies fail because it just takes time. It does take time, but we see it as a moat of an extent because you don't have new LOSs come all the time. You might hear about them, but they're not. There isn't a lot behind it. So that's, I would say, the piece that what I expected, what like what I heard and what we see. What I didn't perhaps expect is that some people, it doesn't seem like innovation is a top priority for them. These people could be potential clients, potential partners, just other people from the industry. So we might talk about something. We might be running fast to build something, and then we want to, integrate with a partner or do a proof of concept or something like that. And the other side is just kind of not in a rush to make a change. So that perhaps, I don't know if it's a matter of change or just a matter of not prioritizing innovation. That's something that could be frustrating at times. We plan to do something, again, we need to like a partner on the other side. And sometimes they just kind of drag their feet for whatever reason that might be. So that might be something that kind of I didn't expect that has been happening.
And then what would you answer now? Or does that follow?
No, so that's kind of what I'm seeing today. Again, in some cases we might wanna, we talk with a partner that we want to build an integration with or something like that, and they might be excited about it at first. And then because we know that we can unlock an opportunity together, and then things change. They don't prioritize it and whatnot. So sometimes thinking about planning something that's a little bit out of the box, or outside of the box, could be challenging at times. It seems like to some partners, not customers rather, but just different parties in this.
The broader,
the
broader ecosystem.
Yeah, how do you
in the ecosystem?
How do you navigate? Like, it seems like it's funny as I've met with CEOs of many mortgage companies who have they'll throw Encompass under the bus and say, why doesn't it just work out of the box? And then you have further conversations within an hour of that same sentence, they will say, we do things differently. We need to make it work our way. So how do you navigate that?
It happens all the time. Is that what you're describing? The approach that we took, and we are always developing our system that way, is to give the other side, the lender, the ability to administer themselves, configure the system without having to talk to us in a simple fashion, to the extent possible, no code. So that has been our approach. So even if someone tells us we do things differently, it might be the case. I'm not judging them. Go ahead. You can configure your own system. You can try things out for a while. It doesn't work out, change it again. It could be your internal guidelines. It could be the things, we call them tasks, that are presented to your borrowers in our point of sale. It could be you might want to roll out a new loan program. You can manage your own data fields in our system, your own data schema. So you don't have to talk to us. You can as a lender, your admin can, again, configure the system. So that's our approach. So even again, if we talk to someone and they tell us, I want something to be built out of the box, but we do things differently. We have templates that we provide them with that they can use, but also we just train them. It doesn't take long, and they can manage it themselves. And the beautiful part is that you don't have to be a rocket scientist to be an admin of our system. Some other systems call them Encompass. You might have like a certified admin, like a third-party company that will come in and configure your system. I mean, good for them. They're charging money for it, so there's probably a gap there. But in our case, the admins, it can be someone who has a background, like someone who works for the lender. It could be someone who does have a background in what they're doing. It could be someone who has a completely different background. We just recently onboarded a new client, and their admin comes from a marketing background, like no background whatsoever. And they're able to basically manage the company's, secret sauce, special fulfillment process. So the system is configurable. That's how we manage that sentence of we need out of the box, but also we have something special. We have templates, and it's configurable. And almost everything we do, we make it configurable because it's almost always the case. Maybe it's like a Murphy thing. Someone tells you, I need this, like this is a requirement. This is exactly what I need, this specific feature. And you do back and forth. And after a while, they tell you, we just need this minor change. So you're like, okay, you handle it. I don't want to, involve my engineering team to the extent possible. Yeah, it's a good point.
Daniel, let's say your average client today, when they come to you, are they doing things like pen and paper? Are they using any software today? What does that look like? And then are you helping them from like helping them redesign their process from scratch, ground up? Is there's like more consultative than it is actually like, just, sell them the software and then like them configure it? Or like, what does that kind of process look like?
Yeah, it's a great question. I see less and less lenders who don't use any system. I don't see it that often. We used to see it more. So they might be using something. That something could be an LOS. Again, it could be like an LOS, like a Encompass, even in the business purpose lending space. It could be
Sure.
a Salesforce, and it can also be an
Sure.
LOS specifically for this space.
Yep.
So that's what we see them using, but typically
Yep.
they might be using more systems supporting their process. So we might see, just recently we've onboarded a client that he used a certain LOS, but they've also used Asana as an example.
Yep.
And used Asana.
I've seen Airtable being used.
Exactly, but they had an LOS, but they also used Asana. So it doesn't make sense. So that's exactly the pain points that I like to hear, because I like to, make them more efficient. So, and you asked, how do we approach it? We first ask them, how do you work? I don't force them to use our system in a specific manner. Again, as mentioned earlier, it is very configurable. I want to know how they work today. What is their process? Is it the process because they chose it, like they wanted it to be the process, or is it just mandated or was forced on them because of the technology that they use? And once we understand the process, we help them, we train their admins, and then they kind of take it from there. We're always there to assist, obviously.
Sure.
But I want to hear how they work today. And we've seen in many cases, maybe in all cases, we help lenders consolidate platforms. Like they just use us instead of multiple different systems, and that's beautiful to me. It's something that I love seeing.
Is that your biggest selling point, that hey, we help you consolidate a lot, like instead of working out of 5 different systems, you can do everything here in Elphi?
It's one of them. Them. For some it might make sense, because some of them might have different departments, not necessarily only originating mortgages, so they might still be using
Salesforce or
Asana or Salesforce, exactly. But the other things that we see almost across the board is after about 3 months of using our system, the numbers go down. Origination cycle time between 8 and 15 days. That's across different lenders, across different loan programs. We see higher conversion rates, 50% higher productivity, and just a lot of time saved. So that's one thing. The other selling point is just we have high NPS scores, and the users of our system, I don't like calling them the users, to be honest, I just call them like them calling them people use our system. They just seem to like the platform, and also we really care about them. So it's just a matter of, and I typically try to connect, like during the selling process, connect the person I speak with our current clients, so they hear it from them without me being, the salesperson, just to hear it from them. So that's my goal. So not necessarily consolidation of systems, although it does come up.
Do you the NPS score? Are you just asking the end user what their thoughts are?
Yes, we sent a survey to our users. NPS scores. How would you score this? Like, would you recommend the system? What do you like about it? What do you don't like about it? Score 1 to 10. 1 through 10, and the scores are typically high, and even the ones that are, and we ask them for feedback. It's anonymous, and even sometimes we might receive some feedback, but it might be something that unrelated to us. It could be internal integration that a lender built to our system that doesn't work well. So that's something that we see as well. So yeah, we just ask them, like we give them an anonymous questionnaire.
I will hit you up afterwards so I can see what system you're using for that.
Yeah. I used Google Forms, nothing sophisticated.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but there are some AI tools, I think, as well. Yeah. Okay. Chris, happy to share if you'd like.
If Daniel, I was going to say, if there's anything you'd like to show, or any of that configurability, or something you want to show off about Elphi, feel free to hit that share screen button.
Yeah, I can share something in a second.
Because everybody knows everybody knows that people love to just see it.
Right. So let me perhaps open something up. It'll take me a second.
Yeah,
Take your time.
Yep. And PK, to your question earlier, becoming a lender or not and all those things, some of the customers we have today, customer partners, lender partners, the ones that have internal tech team of sorts, they actually leverage our system to build their own integrations. We have, as an example, a webhook UI that a lender can configure without, again, talking to us. Some of our lenders use it to trigger integrations with a third party. Some of them just build their CRM integrated into our system, so they generate the loans and whatnot through our API documentation. So really, the kind of forward-looking lenders, the user platform, they can really make a lot out of it without even involving us to an extent. So that's actually something nice to see. So, that's and that has been our goal. Yeah, let me share something in a sec.
Mm-hmm. Take your time.
Okay, I'll share my screen. Let's see if it works.
It's going to add to the screen here. There we go.
Awesome. Okay, so this is, well, our system, the kind of end user view, different pages. I'm not going to run a full-on demo, but something nice that we've recently unlocked. This is an admin page. This is in beta today, but it's something really cool that will help us tap into new markets. Not only limited to the resi space, it could be different types of loans and whatnot. So we've been working hard on upgrading our schema to be what we call dynamic data schema, managed by, again, the lender on their side. Obviously, again, they can talk to us, but they don't have to. So the two things that we've recently built, again, an admin page, the UI will be improved, but the functionality is the important thing here, like a super user side of things. We're giving now our lender partners the ability to manage their own data fields. So they can here create their own data fields. It's a bit of an admin now. I'm just gonna walk through it briefly. I can create data fields, I can create the different options, I can manage them, build enumerations and whatnot. So I wanna roll out a new program, I can do it. I wanna add an option, marketing promo code, whatever, I can do it without talking to us. So that's, anyways, managing the data. In addition, I can also manage third-party integrations, the mapping of fields in and to the ecosystem. I want to build integration to appraisal system, appraisal management, title, and whatnot. I can manage it as a lender admin with no engineers without talking to Elphi. So that's all can be done here. In addition, I can also build the UI, the layout of the UI. Again, for my organization, we call it Elphi Studio. So here, what you can see, this is again a super user page. It's not an end user processor page. They won't see it. You can see here I can build different tabs and different sections, and I can create new elements. And if I want to create what we call a tree or a table in the system, let's see if I can create one. I can create different tables, and then I can see how it would look like. I can create different pages. I can save different versions, one that's live, one that's draft. Maybe I want to roll out new guidelines in a month, so I can build that out. I want to roll out a new loan program. I can build that and then trigger it moving forward at some point in time. So I can literally build the UI, some sort of like a website builder of sorts, call it, think about Wix or something else. I can build that, and then I can control what my users see. We also have a permissions layer, so literally you can build the UI for different users. A processor might log in and see one version. An underwriter, a loan officer, someone else might log in and see different things, and obviously you can add permissions on that. In addition, we're also adding these days, the ability to export and import data fields. So you had Brian here from Mismo, right? So if I want to import Mismo's data fields or data schema 3.0, whatever they have in store, I can easily do it. I just need to import their XML or JSON or Excel or CSV, whatever the format might be. And I then just have all the data fields in my system. In the same fashion, I can also export it, remove some fields that are not relevant for me as a lender, and then I import it again. So the system will be, again, extremely dynamic. It'll help us onboard clients very, very quickly. And it'll help our customers, once they have access to the system, they won't have to talk to us to manage their data schema, to manage integrations to third parties, and again, to roll out new features, or roll out new loan programs, to manage their permissions and whatnot. So this is something we're very excited about, that we have in store. That's Elphi Studio Builder. Again, it's in beta. Some of our clients use it for testing purposes today, and we're constantly enhancing it moving forward. So that's something exciting that we have in place.
I remember during that phase of talking to those commercial lenders, one of the reasons we never went into that space was because every single one of them had a different preference for what they wanted things to look like. Everybody's process was slightly different, and it was you couldn't build one platform one person then try to sell that same platform to another person. So like the way you guys have built that, like where it's configurable, like that's hard work, and so like it's smart on your end as well.
Yeah, thanks. If you look at the Encompasses of the world, you see them obviously follow the 1003 form or something else. Maybe lenders, they need it as a reference, but maybe they want to build their UI for different roles differently. So we give them the ability to do that. Maybe you have a manager, like a senior underwriter, that needs to have a certain view and see only certain fields in a certain way, maybe across multiple loans. They can build it. And again, we'll have templates that we'll provide you with, so that you don't have to. So to your question earlier, Chris, yes, they'll have something out of the box, but also they can manage their own special, unique process, or just test it, and it doesn't work. No problem.
Well, thank you for showing. Daniel had no heads up, guys. So anybody watching, he did not have any prep time for that.
Not prepared.
So I appreciate it.
Chris, were you going to switch it up to the AI side of the conversation?
I think it's about time, so we can talk about it.
Cool.
So AI, we have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to ask it. I mean, we always talk about that during the show, and I'm curious, building an LOS without mentioning AI, I feel like that's not the 2025 or 2026 way to do it. And I remember when we used to talk to people in that space, they would, one of the things, especially brokers, they would do is they would create these like PDF reports with like the photos of the commercial property or whatever it was, and then like write up like why they think that that loan should be funded and like the details of it, things like that. And that was 2022 before GPT or anything was even out, and it was maybe even the early days. And I remember now, I mean, I feel like now like a lot of that could be automated or written by AI. I'm curious if your clients do those sort of like PDF generations, if there's opportunity like that for lenders to be, or brokers to even be using AI in your space, and maybe what are some of the ways that you guys are building it into the platform or opportunities to use it, whether it's in your vertical or within your platform, features wise?
Yeah, it's a great question, but can you please, PK, describe again the use case of the broker using the PDF in 2022? How did they use it?
So they would build out this PDF. They would build out a PDF. I remember it had like a table of contents. They had like pictures. Let's say it was like a Jimmy John's they were trying to finance, for example.
Okay.
They would like have pictures of the location, like like streets and everything like that, like a satellite view, and then they would like send it to multiple brokers, commercial brokers, and then the broker would send it to multiple commercial lenders trying to find the best loan, and then whoever would fund it. But they needed that. It was like an initial package almost. Since everything, there's no like standardized format in your space. It's all very custom.
Right. All right. You're right. Okay, I understand. So again, our goal and our plan is to tap into the resi space. So everything we're building in the platform is again to be configurable and being able to scale and tap into newer markets. AI in our system, our engineers love it and they're excited about it, and they use AI for their own purposes, whether it's using Cursor or anything else. They're just more efficient. We call them, well, maybe call it agents, but they're just more efficient. Some things that they used to do manually, they use AI technology for their own purposes. So that's from a development point of view. We're just faster, more efficient, the development thing. That's one thing. On our end, like from a business perspective, we see a few things. A lot can be accomplished putting AI aside with workflows and data structure that is clean and without that, I can add AI, but it won't help much.
Agreed.
And again, the numbers I talked about earlier, again, lenders originating 8 to 15 days faster across the board, and the productivity increase and whatnot. That's just because workflows and data, nothing much more. And automations and integrations, but that's where it comes from. So that's the foundation. AI today for us, we don't necessarily have anything from a business perspective yet. We did have a few proof of concept internally, mostly around documents. You had OCR technology for a while, but being able to easily, again, it's all about documents these days, being able to see documents, read them, flag them, map the data into our system. We plan to do it the first rollout with human in the middle. So someone will approve it before we actually get more confidence, or the lender will define what can be, like what is okay and what is not. We'll also build the permissions layer and everything to make sure that it doesn't see what it should not see, and that some PII data is masked. So that's one version. The second version will be most likely the first thing we'll get out of the door is some sort of an assistant that will be able to see the data. And if I'm a processor, underwriter, whatever, I can just interact with the AI that will help me look through loans. I can ask it questions like, what is the likelihood of this and that loan to close? What should I work on next based on different guidelines? So that'll be the next or another application that we'll have most likely in the first 2 quarters of 2026. That's how we see it today. But again, a lot, I understand like the AI, I know you bring it up in a different episodes, must be used, but there's so much to accomplish even without it and before you actually implement it efficiently. So that's kind of what we do today, and some of our lender partners that we speak with, they want to be on the forefront. They are experimenting with this technology themselves. And exactly, they're using our platform today. Whether it's the webhook that I brought up, I forgot to show that doesn't really matter. We have a UI to build your own webhook. So some of them are using it, and then they're building N8N or whatever that might be. They're building their own workflows with the webhook. So with the webhook, they can define the filters and what data they should be aware of. And then they build it themselves, or they ask us, can we connect our own agent to your LOS? So the answer is yes. We'll have to look into make sure that we're not doing any fouls. But the answer is yes. So I'm actually excited to see lenders who speak about it. And our system is open and can be enhanced for those purposes. So it's a collaboration with different lenders. And also, we're trying to make sure the foundation is strong first.
So like that N8N example, that might be like depending on the stage of the loan, a certain personalized email might go out based off of contextual information.
Correct. And they can build their own workflows in it. It's it sounds like you're familiar with that technology, PK. So yeah, the lenders can build whatever they want, but they can at least again use a webhook to trigger the workflow in those external systems, to send an email, to do whatever they want. That might not be related to Elphi.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
PK, were you smiling when he said "and" because of me?
Yeah.
How do you say it? I don't know how to say it actually. How do you say it?
No. And is my big word for 2025. Like I've been saying, like everybody looks at things so binary, and I was like, "And" is my word of the year. So as soon as he said not but, really? But and, PK smiled, and I was like, was it because of me?
No, every time, even I catch myself doing it too, and I'm just like, wait, it's not but, it's and.
That's what you learn. So I'll just share one quick story. So when I went to the University of Chicago, they brought in Second City, Chicago, like comedy. They're known for it. And we had an improv class at the business school, and they brought someone. It was kind of awkward, but that was part of it to get us out of the comfort zone. And then they talked about, the different ways to make us move and feel uncomfortable and kind of get out of our comfort zone. And one of the things they said, I think he had different tools and he had to make up jokes and whatever. So he said, always think about and, don't think about but, limit yourself to just and. So I just remember that from comedy and improv class at the University of Chicago. That's why it always kind of comes up, but it's hard to say it at times.
Well, see, it was awkward, but it stuck.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do you see AI affecting the mortgage industry in the next 3 to 5 years, even if it's within Elphi or outside? Like, what would you like to see?
Yeah, and I know again you ask it on all the people you host. It'll be interesting. I expect some of the promises, not necessarily in the mortgage, but a lot of companies. You hear companies all the time using AI. I believe that a lot of them will not stick around in 3 to 5 years. There isn't a lot behind it, whether it's an actual use case or just the technology isn't really unique. And specifically within the mortgage business, I hope that we'll see, the time to originate a loan that has always in the past 10 years, at least since I've kind of been in this space, been somewhere hovering 40 to 50 days, and the cost to originate a loan anywhere between $8,000 to $12,000 or whatnot. I hope these numbers will come down. I hope to see that as a bottom line. Let's see if we see more opportunities, perhaps more roles, not the traditional loan officer, the traditional processor, the traditional underwriter. Maybe they'll do something else. Maybe you'll consolidate to see the same individual do more things because they have, an AI agent of sorts to help them do. So I hope to see, again, the numbers go down, whether it's the number it costs to originate a loan, whether it's the time to actually originate a loan. And I hope to see shops just being more efficient. I know it's a traditional thing in the mortgage business, the volume is cyclical. And as a result, you see shops fire people, right, every 2-4 years. I hope they won't be the case. It'll just be a shop that's efficient, that can handle high volumes, low volumes. You won't have to hire and fire people all the time. I hope that'll be the result of the AI boom. And we'll see.
Yeah,
I'm happy to come to your podcast in 3 years and talk about it again and see where we land.
Yeah, we're still here.
Yeah,
we're gonna have AI avatars.
Yeah. Exactly, AI podcasts.
Yeah, it's funny. It's only cyclical when times are bad, Daniel. Ask anybody in mortgage. When times are bad, they're like, "Oh, it's cyclical." When times are good, it's just yeehaw. Like this will last.
That's short memory. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
I think there's something to be said about you made the comment there about like how the roles will kind of expand, and I think you said correct me if I'm wrong. I think you said like the underwriter will be also doing a lot more of the processing, and like the scopes will expand of the people doing the work, and maybe they just have tools or agents alongside working with them. Can you expand a little bit on that and what your thoughts are? Maybe that's specific to mortgage or just kind of generally speaking. Curious to hear your thoughts there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and again, I heard your previous people who were on the show talk about, and it's not new, it's not a secret, that you have a lot of overlap. Someone is making an action or doing something, someone will review them, someone will review the second person. A lot of people reviewing other people's work for whatever reason.
Double checking the checkers.
Double check, exactly. They don't trust them, or there might be mistakes. I think this can be, and it should be, not only with AI, with some tools that we have today and other LOSs, I'm sure might have it, improve it. But that alone should not happen. I mean, I don't need to double check someone and the double checker, as you mentioned it. That alone can save time. And that alone can, if I'm an underwriter and a good portion of my time I'm spending double checking the person before me in the process, called the processor, I hope that with the good tools, that piece alone will be taken away from that person's day-to-day. So it frees up a lot of their time. And if I'm freed up, instead of working on 2, 3, 4 loans a day, I can work on much more. Maybe I can do some of the processor's work. So these are and obviously people talk about eliminating the repetitive actions. So that also can be eliminated. But I think the double checking the person, I think that slowly people will start trusting more tools to take the human work, and that will take away the need to double check other people. So I think that's an important element there.
Yeah,
if it resonates.
It's not always about a cutthroat, like let's reduce people. It can just be accuracy and make our current people better.
Correct. And just grow with the same number of people. That's also right. That's also the positive side of it.
Definitely.
Yeah, we've already seen Mr. Benioff and Salesforce start saying, we overestimated.
Cut too many people? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, they just kind of said, we kind of overestimated this.
Mr.
understand.
Benioff is a funny name.
Well, I
Exactly.
guess
Yes.
people in tech will know that's the CEO of Salesforce.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
Daniel,
The-
go ahead. Finish your thought
No,
there.
I just wanted to say in a lot of cases like this, you see, you see companies cut a lot of people in the thousands. These big companies. I think that in some cases it's not only AI replacing people; it's just a way for them an excuse to actually,
Yep.
Yeah.
get rid of people they
Downsizing.
wanted to get rid of. Exactly. Just because different purposes. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a question, and this is more a product question for you, specific to Elphi. I remember when we used to talk to commercial lenders, they all wanted to have like a unique portal. Like they would have an LOS, but then like their portal, they firmly believed that needed to look different. I think there were like 2 or 3 players. I don't remember the names of the players now, but most lenders use those 2 to 3 players, and they would always tell us like, um, based off the UI, like if you're a borrower or if you're a broker, you knew like which LOS or which, and so like
Right.
they, for some reason, they did not like that, and they would come to us, or like, hey, can you design this different looking portal? Because we know, like they knew that like, if lender A and lender B had the same exact UI but just different colors or whatever, if for some reason that it seemed like a negative aspect, and they always wanted something a little bit unique, a little bit different layout, whatever. We even saw some of them like spend hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to build out their own portal, but then
Yeah.
they forget that building technology is a little bit different from running a shop, and
Right.
they get burned out and whatnot. I'm curious how, if you support that today, where you can allow them to customize their portal, their layouts, and things like that. Because it seemed like that was a big selling point, and if you could support that, I think that would be. It sounds like people would jump on that opportunity because it seemed like there was a lot of pent up demand for something like that.
Yeah. You did your research, PK. It sounds like so. That's no. You're on point. So again, our vision was to streamline the mortgage life cycle, and at the time when we started, there were some POSs. At the time, it was Blend that kept raising more and more money, etc. And that was like the hype. The conversation was around the point of sale.
Sure.
And people told us, start with the point of sale. It'll make sense. And to us, it didn't make sense because we realized that the real data, the source of truth, starts or lives within the LOS. So we tackled the harder thing to tackle, and we started with an LOS. And that's what we did. With that being said, earlier this year or towards the end of last year, some of our clients asked for a point of sale. As you mentioned, we had our LOS live. They asked for a point of sale. We didn't have it at the time. And we didn't run into building our own. We actually searched the market. And while in the resi space, you have a lot of point of sales, from Blend and others,
Flowify,
whether they're
Maxwell, etc. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cloud Verga and whatnot. Some of them are point of sale only. Some of them are part of the LOS, right? And Compass has their own, and others have their own, and Sino. But in the non-resi space, business purpose lending space, you call it commercial space, there is no proper off-the-shelf, at least not that I ran into, proper off-the-shelf point of sale only.
Yeah.
Some point of sales are embedded within the LOS, like it's a part of the solution. So we just decided to build our own point of sale, and we did. We worked on it. It took us about 3 months or so, and we have been live since Q1 of 2025. We have hundreds and hundreds of borrowers using it today. And it is, as you mentioned, again, configurable, and the admin can configure. The admin can configure the look and feel, like the white labeled using the logos and whatnot. They can configure the application process. So it's really unique. In the resi space, I can tell if I'm logging into a lender, whether it's Blend or someone else, Maxwell, etc. In our case, they can't. So I can configure the application, the look and feel, as you mentioned. I can configure what task they see because I control the LOS. I can configure the cards, like the loan pipeline. I can configure almost everything as a lender. So it's unique to their process.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's definitely not out of the box. Oh, I can tell this is powered by Elphi, like you see some other point of sales. But it was a pain point. You're right, it was a pain point. And one final thing, we're also working to support really soon brokers, LOs, like Copilot, whatever you want to call it, And we support wholesale lending as well. So we call it organizations. So you can create in the LOS an organization or multiple organizations, and then you can that way support different brokers in wholesale, and then you can also manage permissions, who sees what loans come to which organization. So we've thought about it, we planned for it, and we just decided to execute it ourselves because we couldn't find an off-the-shelf solution that would integrate properly as a point of sale. So, and it is a point, as you mentioned. So that's true.
Yeah, that was the other opportunity that I saw in the space, which was like they would have brokers that were sending them deals, but they wanted the brokers to have like a white label kind of platform
Correct.
and login portal and things like that. Nothing existed in that space for that. So,
right, that's exactly it.
Very bullish on your company, man. I didn't know about a lot of this. I mean, last time we chatted, it had like a high level overview, and I remember coming across your website, I think like a month before the MBA, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. And then I met you, and it's been fun to learn about the company. It's very cool, very bullish.
Thanks.
Congrats on all the hard work.
The MBA. Thanks, PK.
All right. So then, Daniel, like if you could give advice to someone entering mortgage tech, what advice would you give them?
What advice would I give them?
Don't do it. No, I'm just kidding.
That's what people always say, right? I would say build strong relationships and partnerships, because it seems like people are always bouncing between different companies, right? So I might have a good relationship with someone today. He or she might help me today, yes or no, but they might move to a different company or just be promoted. So keep a good relationship, and your reputation goes with you. So keep that. And the other thing I would say is don't be afraid to bring new perspectives. I mean, a lot of people have been in the mortgage business for many, many, many years and might think that the mortgage, from my perspective, origination, let's say, is unique and very hard. But you have other markets, other industries that do things that might be more complex, and they are able to do it. So I'll just say, don't be afraid to bring new perspectives to the table. Because people have been doing the same thing over and over again, it seems like, here for years. And I think there's a lot of room for opportunities to bring innovation. So I think these are the two items.
Well, then there's your opportunity to build a relationship. So you get to ask the question for next week's guest. I did give you a heads up. It was going to be the Aaron Wester from Optimal Blue, who I love and adore, and been a friend for her for a long time. So give us your question for Aaron.
Yeah, my question for Aaron is basically, what do you wish yourself in Optimal Blue for the year of 2026? You think she'll be there, right? First week of January, you'll host her?
Yep.
Yeah. So what are her expectations and things she would love to accomplish during 2026?
I love it. Perfect.
Solid question.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us, Daniel. It's been a pleasure, and learned a lot.
Yeah,
thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure. All right. Thanks, guys.
Congrats on all the hard work.
Thank you very much. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and happy 2026, happy New Year, and everything that comes along with it.